Hello students, welcome to Sanskruti virtual class of chapter Natural Resources. In this chapter we have already studied about what are natural resources, what is air pollution, what is water pollution, and now we will study about soil and soil pollution. So first of all, what is soil? Soil is the layer of the earth crust. This uppermost layer of the earth is earth crust, and from this earth crust this uppermost layer is soil. This is containing a large number of nutrients that help in sustaining life on earth. So here we can see this layer of earth is containing a large number of nutrients, and these nutrients are provided for these plants, so the life is sustained through this soil. So now we have understood that the uppermost layer of the earth crust is soil. So this uppermost layer of the earth crust is soil, and this soil is having nutrients which are responsible for life. Now we will study about soil profile. For this we are needed to understand through this diagram. Suppose this is our earth, and if we are just digging out a piece of this earth crust, so this piece is shown here. Now it is divided into different layers, and these layers are showing the soil profile. In this picture of soil profile, we can see this piece of land has been divided into various layers. The uppermost layer, the first one layer we can see here, this is O horizon. O horizon is having soil which is having humus with it. This humus is these dead plants, dead parts of plants, animals such as insects, and a large amount of water hold with it. So these all are making O horizon of soil. In this soil the plants are having a direct contact. Mean these all upper parts of these plants are in the contact of this horizon. Then the second one is A horizon. This A horizon is having only roots of the plants. We can see here a large number of roots are present, and these roots are absorbing the mineral and water for the use of these plants. So this is A horizon. This A horizon is also called this topsoil. First one is surface layer, the second one is top soil. Then third one is subsoil, which is also called B horizon. This B horizon is having compounds draining from the above accumulated. These all compounds which are present in this layer, these all compounds which are present in this layer, in the second layer, these all slowly comes to this third layer and get accumulated here. But these minerals and whatever minerals are present in this third layer, these are not coming in the use of these plants, because the roots of the plants are not reaching to this third layer. Then comes the B horizon, the next layer. After B horizon, then comes the C horizon. The C horizon is the fourth one layer, but it is containing, here we can see the parental rocks are present, and these rocks are partially broken. These rocks are broken by the weather conditions. And the fourth last one, fifth one horizon is our horizon, which is having totally rocks only. It is having no soil, no broken rocks. Here all huge rocks are present. Okay, so this is about our soil profile. Here no plants roots are coming, so no water, no minerals will be absorbed for the plants from here. So this is what soil profile is. Now the formation of soil. This formation of soil takes a large course of time. During the large course of time, rocks broke down into smaller pieces and these smaller pieces finally make soil. So here we can see these rocks are bigger in size, but slowly what will happen, because of the action of chemicals, water, wind, these rocks break down into small pieces and over a large period of time they finally take the form of soil. In this way the soil is formed. So this is about the formation of soil. Then there comes the very important point. What are the importances of soil? Importance of soil. First of all, so we must know that these plants are growing in this soil only. If there is no soil, no plants can grow. And if plants cannot grow, no animals can grow. So this soil is providing the establishment, or we can say this soil is giving a base for all the living forms. Then there comes the very important point, soil pollution. As I told you, one very simple definition of pollution, that mixing of harmful substances in environment is pollution. So we can take the very simple definition of soil pollution as well, that the mixing of harmful substances into soil is soil pollution. But here we will study about this technical definition also. We know that soil contains different types of substances. All of them are responsible for the survival of biodiversity. When the useful components get removed from the soil, it loses its fertility and leads to the decrease in microscopic life in it. This phenomenon is called soil pollution. So first of all, we have to understand that this soil is giving life for all the living organism. And if this soil is losing its useful components, suppose this soil is having carbon in it, nitrogen in it, and sulfur, like these all components in it. So if these all components get and from this soil, what will happen? This soil will not be able to provide any nutrition for these plants. Then these plants will not be growing here. This is called soil has loosen its fertility. This is what pollution is. So soil pollution is what? The condition in which soil lose its fertility is called soil pollution. Then now if we discuss about the effects of soil pollution, then what are the important effects of soil pollution? Number one is it severely affects the growth of plants. Obvious, if the soil is not fertile, then it will not be able to support the growth of plants, and if there are no plants, then what will happen? No animals. No plants means no food to eat, or no animals will be surviving. The second one is fertilizers decay the quality of the soil. This is very important point, children. If fertilizers we are using in agriculture, these fertilizers decrease the quality of soil and can affect the human life also, who are consuming the food grown in this soil. They are containing the large amount of fertilizers and pesticides. What happen in agriculture? If we are growing a large number of plants here, nowadays farmers are using a large amount of fertilizers. Fertilizers, we know, they are providing nutrients for these plants, and plants farmers are also using a large number of pesticides. These pesticides are used to kill the pests of pests, we know, harmful organisms are present, harmful such as insect, which are just killing the plants. So these pesticides and fertilizers. So these pesticides and fertilizers are affecting the human health also. If we are going to eat these crops which have been grown on fertilizers and by using pesticides, so they will cause health issues for us. Then the third point is it can change the structure of soil. What is this structure of soil? Structure of soil we are needed to see here through this picture. Composition of soil, that a good soil is containing air 25%. Good soil means we are just comparing here, just taking here and taking here a sample of soil which is good for plants. So it must contain around 25% of air, mineral 45%, and water 25%, and rest all materials such as organic material, humus, these all parts are making remaining part, which is 5%. So this is what the structure of soil. And if the soil pollution is taking place, then what will happen? They will change the structure of soil, and this structure of soil is changed, then it will kill the useful bacteria. Useful bacteria, some of the bacteria are present in soil which are increasing the fertility of soil, such as nitrogen fixing bacteria, rhizobium. This rhizobium is a very important example. We have to remember this rhizobium bacteria increase the fertility of soil, it fixes the nitrogen. And if these rhizobium bacteria are killed, then what will happen? Our soil will remain infertile. So these are the harmful effects of soil pollution. Dear students, whenever we study about soil, we are needed to study about one very important topic, that is soil erosion. What this soil erosion is, I am going to explain you. See here, this soil erosion is a very important phenomenon to study about soil. Suppose this is a field and this is a water body. This is a water body, means there may be a river or somewhat else water body, and what happens, there is present only soil. What happens if the rain water is coming? So we can draw here like this. This is your soil, this is your river, and this rain is falling. Because of the heavy pressure of this rain, this soil will run away towards this river, and what will happen? All these soil will come in the river. And as I told you, the uppermost layer is fertile for the plants. The uppermost layer contain all the nutrients, but this uppermost layer of the soil has run to the river. Then what will happen if we are growing plants in this soil which is having no uppermost soil? This uppermost soil has already run to the water body. Then there will grow no more plants because this soil is no more fertile. So this is called soil erosion. The running off of soil into the water bodies. This is a very harmful practice because if the whole uppermost layer of the soil will run to the water bodies, then there will be no plants growing on it. So this is what soil erosion is. Then the next topic comes to our brain, how we can reduce this soil erosion. There is one very simple method. We will understand it through the diagram. Suppose the same water body and same field we are taking. Here if we have grown a large number of plants, these large number of plants are having their roots in this soil. Then what will happen if rain is coming? And if rain is coming, this rain water will not be able to take this soil into the water bodies just because of the roots of the plants. These roots will hold the soil. ये जो roots हैं ये सारी soil को hold करके रखेंगी बहुत अच्छे से. That's why no soil will run to the water bodies and our soil will not be eroded. So this is how we understood that how can roots of plants prevent the soil erosion. So this is important to remember about the answer of these questions. What causes soil erosion? What causes soil erosion? If the soil is not covered with the roots of plants, then it run away with the rainwater to the water bodies. This is called soil erosion. And the answer of this question also, how can the roots of plants be prevent the soil erosion? So we are able to write answer of these both questions. Now we will move on to very interesting topic. What are biochemical cycles? These biochemical cycles, as you can see in the picture here, this one cycle is shown and this next one is carbon cycle, and here we can see this nitrogen cycle. So these all cycles we have to study. What these cycles are? Dear children, we are very familiar with this water cycle. This water cycle we have studied in previous classes. That what happens? There are water bodies on the earth's surface, and from these water bodies the water evaporates and it forms clouds in sky. And when these clouds become too heavy, these clouds fall down on the earth. So water comes back on the earth's surface. This was water cycle. We have studied it already. Similarly, many other cycles are found in nature. These cycles are called biochemical cycles. Now we will study the definition of biochemical cycles. A biochemical cycle refers to the natural cycle of earth through a chemical substance moves from one component to the other component of the earth. Means, as we can see in this diagram, here oxygen cycle is shown to you. In this oxygen cycle we can see that oxygen, we remember now, oxygen is that gas which is helpful for us to remain alive. This is also called our live gas. We are living through this gas only. If we are not getting oxygen, we may die. So we are studying about oxygen, and this is what oxygen cycle is. Here we can see here this oxygen is starting from one position from the atmospheric oxygen and moving to the next step, then next, and just coming back to the same step. That's why it is called cycle. So this is what oxygen cycle. Similarly, all the nutrients present on earth such as carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, these all are running from one level or one step to the next step, and after a time they comes back to the same position. These are biochemical cycles. So a biochemical cycle refers to the natural cycle of earth through which a chemical substance or matter moves through the biotic component to the abiotic component. We are needed to remember here these biotic components means plants and animals, and abiotic components means soil, earth, soil, air, water, etc. So what happens, suppose if we are taking the example of oxygen, this O2 is present in water, H2O, and this water when we drinks, it becomes a part of our body, and when from our body it comes back to the abiotic resources, then it becomes a part of abiotic components. So in this way this water is moving all around. Now we will study about the different cycles. We will study here first of all about oxygen cycle. Oxygen, we know this is the gas which we take inside our body from the air, and we will just consider it starting from this atmospheric oxygen. मीन्स हमारी एयर में बहुत सारी ऑक्सीजन है जहाँ से हम इसको स्टार्ट मानेंगे. What happens? The all animals take oxygen in respiration. When we respire, we take oxygen inside our body through our nose. So we are taking this oxygen, and this oxygen is coming into the body of plants, animals. Yeah, plants also respire. We have to remember it. Plants are also taking in oxygen. So these all plants, animals, be human beings are taking in oxygen. So now what happens? Oxygen has come to our body. Now when we respire, we release out water vapor and carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide is also having oxygen. We can see here in the formula. And this water vapor is also having oxygen. So what happens? From our body the oxygen has come to air again. Now when the plants will do the photosynthesis, we know plants are taking carbon dioxide for the process of photosynthesis, so they will take this oxygen. Now oxygen has come to plants. When plants will release out oxygen after the photosynthesis or in the process of photosynthesis, the oxygen is coming back again to the atmosphere. So what we have studied, oxygen started from here, this atmosphere, it comes into the bodies of animals. Then when animals release out carbon dioxide and water vapor, it comes in the atmosphere again. Then from the atmosphere, when plants are absorbing CO2, the carbon along with carbon dioxide, the oxygen is coming again to the plants. Then from the plants, from the plants when they are releasing out O2, it is coming again to the atmospheric oxygen. It is becoming a part of air. Then here one more cycle we can see inside it. What happens when these plants do the photosynthesis? Then this glucose is formed. We know this glucose means body of plants is formed. We are what body of plants we are eating? We are eating fruits, leaves. These fruits, leaves are having glucose, and this glucose formula we can see as C6 H12O6. Here we can see oxygen is written. This O is representing oxygen. So oxygen is coming to the bodies of plants. And when the bodies of plants means the food material is eaten by animals, it comes into the body of animals. And from the body of animals, this oxygen again is converted into carbon dioxide with carbon and comes back to the plants. So in this way we have studied this whole oxygen is moving from one step to the next step. This is what oxygen cycle is. Now we will study about the next cycle. Here we can see in this picture, this is what carbon cycle. Before we study about carbon cycle, we must understand what this carbon is. This carbon is also an element like oxygen, hydrogen. Here we can see this written formula carbon dioxide, this CO2. Here this C is representing carbon. But in nature, the carbon will not always be found in free form. This carbon will be found in different forms. As we can see, this air containing carbon dioxide, this is also carbon. And other materials, as we can see, organic compounds of plants. Organic compounds of plants means what the body of plant is. Fruits, leaves, roots, etc. Flowers. These all are the organic compound present in plants. So here also the carbon is present. Then next one, organic compounds in animals. What the body of animals is? Our body is also made up of materials. That one of the element is carbon. So in our body also the carbon is present. Now here we can see carbonates in water. In water bodies, a large number of rocks are present, such as marble rocks. These all rocks are also containing carbon. That limestone is also containing carbon. Coal we know that is also containing carbon. Then next materials, petroleum we know na, petrol is obtained from petroleum, petrol, bags, ethane, methane, these all gases which we are using in as CNG, LPG for cooking our food. These all gases are also containing carbon. Then here comes the next, carbonates, inorganic carbonates such as shell. As we know, some of the animals are having shell on their bodies. These animal cells are also containing carbon in them. So carbon will rotate through these various steps. So from where we will consider it to start? We will consider it to start from this atmospheric carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide of air is containing carbon. So from this air, carbon is coming to the plants. Then what happens when we eat the plants? When these animals eat the plants, carbon comes in the body of carbon comes in the bodies of animals. Then when these animals die and when these plants die, so here plants are dying, animals are dying. When these animals and plants are dying but they are not decomposed, as we know the formation of petroleum, so they are converting into petroleum and the carbon is coming in the form of petroleum. Then here what happens? if this carbon dioxide is directly coming into the contact of water, then it converts into carbonates, and these carbonates are also containing carbon. So here we are seeing the various movements of carbon. Carbon has come into various form. These carbonates also convert in the form of limestone, so carbon has come here. We know when we burn the plants, they convert in coal, so carbon has come here. Now what will happen, it has to go back also. As I told you, when these plants and animals do the work of respiration, they release out carbon. Okay, and when these all fossil fuels, these all petroleum and coal, these are burnt, they also just come in the form of CO2, and they again becomes a part of atmospheric carbon dioxide. So what we have studied, carbon is coming in the different forms in the bodies of plants and animals, and when these all are burning or doing the respiration, the carbon is coming back to the same position. So this is what carbon cycle is.